Hello, everybody. Mingla Marley here again. I just wanted to talk about something that, it never really was something I really thought about much in the past. Talking about natural disasters. For example, got all these typhoons, earthquakes, volcanoes in the Philippines. And I never really paid much attention to these things. Um, I've been through them on a much smaller scale than I've just been seeing in the last month. I mean, for example, last week, the deadliest typhoon of the year, ripped right through Cebu, through the Philippines. And Cebu, it's where my mind is mostly, because that's where my girlfriend is, Mingla. Uh, they weren't hit that hard in Mingla, but right next to them, in Talisay City, and then Cebu City is the next one north, and of course, north of that, the eye of the storm was at Bogo City, where they just had the terrible earthquakes last month. That was the epicenter for it. So one thing after another there, and in a day or two, there's going to be another another if you want to say hurricane, um, typhoon, another typhoon coming through. Um, Most likely north of that this time, but still could track through that way. Either way, it's terrible for anywhere in the Philippines where it hits. Like I said, just Cebu Island is foremost on my mind, but I don't want it to hit anyone there. The effects of how it happens, the that wasn't even one of the worst typhoons that came through last week, and the destruction from the amount of water, uh, the just rushing through. Um, I always thought of these kind of storms with hurricanes in the East Coast and the Caribbean, the United States area, Atlantic Caribbean area. I mean, I always thought of the wind damage. Really, you never really think about the water damage as much until last year when it went inland into the mountains, Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina. That area got devastated. Not even on the water. So now you're starting to see these storms having a different effect, more of torrential downpours turning into just walls of water coming down a small river, and not as much of wind being the factor as it is the water. And yeah, so it just brings a whole new thought process on, um, what you have to be prepared for when you go to the Philippines. It's not if natural disasters are going to occur while you're there. It's when they're going to occur, and you got to be ready for it. It's more than just preparing the day prior. You got to be prepared always, and it goes with your finances too, because you're not going to be able to use your credit cards, go to an ATM if power is lost. They can lose power long periods of time. They My girlfriend only lost power for about 16 hours, so it wasn't that terrible there. I heard some islands lost for, I believe, about 3 days. Um, so it can be much worse. It has been worse in past storms, I've heard. It could be weeks. So you have to have cash. Um, so if you lose everything, you rush out of the house, you're gonna lose that too. So you should have a go bag ready with cash and emergency items in, um, wrapped in plastic, because you're going to get soaked. Some of the houses were filled with water rushing in. Up, I saw a video of an expat and his family basically in an attic kind of area, just ready. The water was all the way up there. They're ready to go out a hole in the roof that they created, and a lot of stories of people who just clinging to roofs. So hopefully you can grab something small. You're not going to get much on your way out, but you got to be prepared because the water level increases without even having any time to think about it. Um, yeah, and it's about to happen again. I was on Facebook. I got a suggested suggested post from the Mingla mayor. Somehow Facebook knew that I would want to read that. The algorithms are crazy. I knew that. Talking about how uh, the storm last week, Mingla was basically saved by a landslide, redirected the wall of water that was going to come down to the lowlands. But now they're projecting this next storm. That water's got to come somewhere, and they had a animated uh, map that showed where it's going to go if it happens, and where that pier is, just a little bit north of that neighborhood right there. Um, so yeah, just to think about it, they what it showed how much would be covered with water is just like if you saw the devastation at Talisay City. This looked like they're expecting possibly worse. So yeah, you never know. The way that water rushes down the mountains when there's torrential rain and storms like these, it affects places that you would not expect. You think, oh, where I'm going to move, it's not even close to the water. I'm not going to be affected by it. Well, that's what these people probably thought for decades too, and now they're on the verge of mandatory evacuations. Um, so then you're talking about going to, I believe it's at the school where it's going to be so crowded. There's a lot of chaos in there, and it's not comfortable. And but yeah, it's safer than your house probably, but it's not something you want to go through. But yeah, so these are things you have to you know take into account when you're planning on retiring or moving to another country, especially one that's in the ring of fire, has the most natural disasters of any country. Um, like I said, it's also earthquakes last month. There's been thousands of them if you count the aftershocks, and that devastated Bogo City, and pretty much everybody in the region felt it. A few months ago, I believe it's called Canlone Mountain in is it Occidental Negros? Not sure which province it is, but it's the island just west of Cebu. Volcano, it's active there. So yeah, there's just everything going on. I guess you have to worry about tsunamis in the Philippines too. I haven't heard of any big tsunami disasters there, but I'm sure it's happened and could again someday. Uh, yeah, everything is just a matter of time with all of these things. So if you're building, you just want to make sure your builders use the best construction materials. Don't cut corners for the cheapest cost. Try to get the safest construction possible. If you're buying a place that's already exists, there's not much you can do if it's a real bad earthquake or typhoon. But um, yeah, so things that got to be on your mind now that probably haven't been on your mind um, in your life leading up to now, unless you live in certain areas. I've been through um, hurricanes when I was in the Navy. I was on an aircraft carrier, USS America. We rode through hurricanes, and it was fun. It was like riding a roller coaster for a day. Um, on the land, I had bought a house in Hampton, Virginia. The people that lived there for 30 years prior to me, I asked them if they ever had any issue, any hurricane ever come through. The guy said in 30 years, never once. They said they had a nor'easter once. That was it. 3 weeks after I buy the place, hurricane direct hit on the next city, Newport News, Virginia. Had to evacuate. I was lucky. It's only about a block from the water. I was lucky. Virtually no damage to my place. It's a little landscaping damage. No big deal at all. But I thought it was just crazy how 30 years it never had a hurricane. I'm there 3 weeks, and there comes one. But yeah, that's earthquakes. I've been in them small, tiny ones where people around me were like, "Do you feel that?" I never felt it. But it's going to happen in the Philippines. I'm not going to be able to say I never felt one. So yeah, but been watching a lot of the videos of the typhoon lately and last month, the earthquakes, and yeah, it's just something, it's really sad, and hate to see what people are going through. And yeah, if you're moving there, it's going to be you going through it too. So just be prepared for that. Know what you're getting into. Yeah. Give me a Marley. Give me a subscribe, please. Click that like, thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Thank you.